Good morning or good afternoon, Tigers. Today we'll be watching a quizzette video on quizzette 724. Please make sure that you write your last name, comma, first name, today's date, and today I'll be yellow. On number 1 for each day, you're going to be asked for the volume. On Tuesday, you're asked for a volume of a cube. Here's the formula for the volume of a cube. V equals A cubed. So what that means is the volume is all of the side lengths or the edges multiplied together. So this would be considered your edge. It gives you your value of your edge, which is 2 inches. So you would translate that as V equals 2 cubed, or you could say V equals 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So your total volume of this cube is V equals 8. And then you can write a statement. Since no SMP is going to be asked of you, I want you to write a sentence. The volume of the cube is 8 inches. Now, the volume of a cube is completely different from a volume of a right prism. Wednesday number 1 gives you a right prism. Here, the volume would be V equals width times height times length. Now, if you pay attention, your width is different from your height and it's different from your length. But regardless of it, you're going to multiply all 3 of those quantities. So you would have 2 times 4 times 6. Same for Thursday and Friday. If you look at Thursday and Friday, you're going to have a right rectangular prism, and you're just going to multiply the width, the height, and the length, and that is going to be the amount of volume for that right rectangular prism. Now let's move on to Tuesday number 2. Tuesday number 2 is going to really require you to reason abstractly and quantitatively. It's going to give you a different scenario each day, so you have to be very careful. It's not like every other quizzette question where it gives you an example and it's the same for each day. It's different for each day for number 2, so be very careful. I even got tricked when I was doing it. So let's look at Monday number 2. It says the area of a square sandbox is 100 square feet. So I'm going to draw a picture, and I'm going to try my best to draw a square because it's a square sandbox. That's what it told me, square sandbox. And it says that the area, so the inside, is 100 square feet. So I'm going to write 100 inside because that represents the area. If they gave me the perimeter, that would be the exterior or the outside of the square. The question is asking how long is each side of the sandbox. So I'm trying to find the side of each sandbox, and I'm going to find a number that if I multiply it together, it gives me 100. I'll try to make better sense. Some of you guys understand square root. So the square root of 100 has to be a number multiplied by itself. To get you 100 would be the square root of that. You guys might have learned this in 6th grade. I think I might have taught you at the beginning of the year. But what number times itself gets you 100? In this case, it would be 10. 10 times 10 gets you 100. So the square root of 100 would be 10. And here it's asking you how long is each side of the sandbox, which would be 10. So you can say the side of the sandbox is 10 feet. And you're done. It doesn't matter how small you write it. I know there's not a lot of room on number 2, so if you want to write it on the side as well, that's fine. Now let's look at number 2 for Wednesday, because that one's going to trick you as well. It totally tricked me until a student exposed my mistake. So let's see. It says each side of a square classroom is 16 feet long. So it's giving you the sides now. Each side of a square classroom is 16 feet long. So I would start by drawing a picture, model with my math. That kind of looks like a rectangle, but I'm going to pretend it's a square. And it's saying the side is 16 feet long. And here it's not asking for the area. It's asking you for the perimeter. So it's asking you for the exterior, the outside of the square. Now let's look at number 2 for the other days. If I can get this video to work. Sorry guys, it's not letting me grab it. Oh yay, it did. Now let's look at number 2 for Thursday. The perimeter of a rectangle goat pen is 46 meters. So it's saying a rectangle or a rectangular. And it's giving you the perimeter. So the outside equals 46 meters. And it's saying that it's 8 meters wide. So 8 meters wide on this side and 8 meters wide on that side. How long is it? So you're trying to find the side length. You're trying to see what this length is right here. So you have to add 8 plus 8, which is 16. Subtract that from 46, and then you get a leftover amount. That amount has to be divided by 2 because you have 2 lengths. And then you have to tell me what the side length is. Now let's look at number 2 for Friday. It says the perimeter of a rectangular ceiling tile is 144 inches. So again, it's giving you the perimeter. And it's saying that it's 36 inches long. How wide is it? So you're trying to find the side lengths, the width. The width. I'll let you guys figure that one out because I want you to reason abstractly and quantitatively. Now let's go back to Tuesday number 3. We're done with number 2. So Tuesday number 3. It says, what is the value of C? Today we're going to be taking math notes on vertical, adjacent, supplementary, and complementary angles. So I do not expect you to know this at the top of your head. But C is vertical to 70. So we call these vertical angles. Vertical angles are across from each other, and they're also equivalent in angle measure. So let's say you had angle A and B right here. Angle A is vertical to angle B. But angle A is not vertical to angle C. Those are adjacent angles. Those are right next to each other. So these are not vertical. But A is vertical to B. B is vertical to A. 70 degrees is vertical to C. C is vertical to 70. But C is adjacent to A and adjacent to B because those are right next door to each other. And A is adjacent to 70 and C. But here we're looking at vertical angles. So the value of C is equal to 70 degrees because they're vertical angles. So C equals, oops, I wrote 90. C equals 70 degrees. You can also rewrite it over here so it's nice and clean. And the SMP you're using here, you could say model with math because you drew a picture on number 2. But the one I would prefer for you to write is SMP2, reason abstractly and quantitatively. Okay, moving on to number 4. Number 4 says, what is the value of U? Like I said, we're going to take notes today on supplementary and complementary angles, but right now I'll tell you what U is actually representing. U is representing supplementary angles. So please write the word supplementary at the top. And the thing that you need to know about supplementary angles is that they add up to equal 180 degrees. If you look here, we have a straight line, and our straight line is being intersected or bisected by this line right here. This line adds up to 180. Every angle within that line has to add up to 180. So that means they're supplementary. 60 degrees are already claimed. So what we do is we subtract 180 from 60, and that gives us our angle for U. 180 minus 60 is 120 degrees. So U is equal to 120 degrees. And I'm going to rewrite it on the side so I have a clean answer. So these are supplementary angles. Number 5 is asking what the value of Q is. But here we see this little red box. And that little red box represents a right angle. And a right angle always equals 90 degrees. In this case, these are called complementary angles. And complementary angles add up to equal 90 degrees. So in this case, 40 degrees is already claimed. So we just subtract 90 degrees minus 40 degrees. And that gets us 50 degrees. So Q is equal to 50 degrees. And I'm going to write it again over here.